Welcome to Gig Sluts Review with Matt and Nikki.
Hi Nikki, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Today we're going to be talking about He Named Me Malala, which comes out on the 6th of November.
Yeah. So He Named Me Malala is a documentary feature by Davis Guggenheim, which tells the story of Malala Yousafzai, who was a young woman from the Swat Valley in Pakistan who spoke out against the Taliban when they tried to stop education for young women. As a result of that, the Taliban attacked her, tried to assassinate her, and left her for dead, as well as some of her school friends, in a horrific attack it got global recognition. And as a result of that, Malala and her family were moved to the UK, where she recovered, and has now become a spokesperson for women's rights and girls' rights worldwide. She's written great books. She's won the Nobel Peace Prize. So this documentary basically shows us, or tells us about Malala's relationship with her father, how she was named Malala, which it turns out is a kind of mythology from the Swat Valley of a woman who rose up against invaders and basically led the country to freedom. And so the film really is about her relationship with her father, her brothers, her mother, how they adapt to life in the UK. And then really about her journey and what she's doing now, which is an incredibly uplifting and important film, which, at 87 minutes long is quite short for a documentary, yet it is effective and moving.
I agree. I thought it was very effective and moving, and they use animation in a really interesting way, I think, in this, and it's very charming, it's really sweet, and it brings in parts of the story that obviously they wouldn't have been able to shoot or have archive footage of. For example, the story of the original girl named Malala, who stood up for what she believed in and actually was killed as a result. And they kind of tackle that whole prophecy of the fact that she was given the name Malala, so did that kind of predisposition her to become who she is. The woman that she was named after stood up and was killed for her beliefs, and Malala herself, she stood up for what she believed in and was attacked for it, and nearly lost her life. And what's great about Malala, actually, from this documentary is just how modest she is and how normal she tries to be, and just the way she kind of reacts to lots of people wanting to take her photo, and the way she reacts to questions. She just wants to be an ordinary girl, but she also obviously she's doing extraordinary things.
I particularly like when she talks about boys that she likes, because she, you forget that she's only a young girl, and there's that sort of giggly teenage innocence which definitely reminds you, despite her incredible will and resistances, that she's still a child essentially. So I think the film does well to capture that, and her family environment and the support she gets from her family comes across really, really well. What I would say is that, the film has faced a little bit of criticism because some people feel it's too glossy. I understand why, and I think for me the thing that bothered me about the documentary is that there are definite hints where her father is seen to be such an influence, because he was very outspoken politically before the Taliban really took hold of the Swat Valley, and you almost wonder how much of she was used as a kind of conduit for his own political beliefs, because yes, you do believe that she's absolutely and utterly impassioned about what she's doing now, but she was a much younger child then, and I do question that, and not in a sinister way, but in a way that maybe needed or warranted a little bit more investigation or a little bit more in-depth research in terms of the documentary filmmakers. But then I think they do have a hard thing to do, because how do you criticize a subject matter like this? The work that this girl is doing is extraordinary, and she is raising awareness for women and girls worldwide, and it does feel churlish to criticize the film, but at the end of the day you have to judge it as a film, not just about the story of Malala.
Yeah, and I think as a film it works. Like I said, I like the animation they put in. I think that's very interesting, and apart from that, I guess it's kind of a standard documentary. But I was listening to an interview with the director, David Guggenheim, and he was saying how he went into this family's home, he got to interview them, he did a lot of interviews, just audio, and then used that over footage of what he was doing, because he felt it was much more intimate, and he really wanted to get them to open up. And you get that from this. There is a lot of personal storytelling in this, and he obviously really got in with the family, which is great, and I think that's what you need. And it does feel very in depth and personal.
Yeah, and there is a sweet moment in the film where they highlight how the mother and father met and their relationship, and also because really the mother is quite suppressed, and very sort of uncomfortable with being in the UK and dealing with the change. Because I mean, what I'd say as well, a highlight for me, what I really liked about the film is how they talk about the Swat Valley and how beautiful it was and how much they miss it, and that resonated deeply because it really highlighted how they were driven out of the place that they loved. I thought that was captured really, really well. I mean, that she does have a beautiful family, like a really supportive, lovely family, and her brothers are hilarious, and that actually kind of nicely offers moments of sort of light relief and humour in a story that really could have ended tragically. I mean, ultimately, it's an uplifting story, and an important one, and one that really needs to be seen, particularly by young women.
I agree. I think it balances the truth and the horror of what happened with intelligent and comedic moments, which were refreshing and surprising as well. So I think we both agree that this is a 3 stars.
3 stars for me, yeah.
So that's He Named Me Malala, and it's coming out on the 6th of November in the UK, so you should definitely check it out.